What's up, Kenra? It's your girl, Lo Wheeler, the color brand ambassador for Kenra Professional, and I'm so excited to share this transformation with you. I have my girl Autumn in here. Usually we take her a bright beigey blonde. This time we're gonna mix it up and richen her hair with some soft Bronde tones, more leaning into the Brunette category, which is gonna be super exciting to see. I'd like to walk you through some of the things that we're seeing in her hair. She has a beautiful natural 5 base, so when it comes to shadow rooting and melting that color throughout, we're gonna stick close to her natural. And for this, we're going to do a balayage technique because we're not pushing past more than 4 levels of lift here, because we're ultimately taking her deeper, richer, more dimensional. So let's get started. I know we all are here for a good balayage tutorial and I can't wait. So for this, we're going to use the blue powder lightener plus 30 volume. I love the 30 volume because it's gonna just give us a little bit cleaner of an undertone, and we're gonna start sectioning her from bottom to top. I've sectioned back 2 big buns because what is left out is essentially where I'm gonna begin. So just keeping it separate is gonna help me to work faster. I have the money piece laying out and then also the underneath, which I think is really beautiful to paint while, you know, we have our busy lifestyle and we throw our hair up. You're gonna wanna see some pieces there. So I'll walk you through kind of like an underneath kind of 3D technique. So what we'll do is focusing first on the face framing money piece. I'll take these 2 sections, dividing them at the ear. Every time I see her, she flips her hair, and so I want to take that into, you know, account when putting this balayage dimension in. So that means I'm going to have to be strategic with my placement, because if I just come in here and lay it down, when she flips, there's gonna be a lack of dimension here. So I'm just going to keep that in mind when I lay my ribbons in. I'm gonna be applying with 2 brush sizes. The more detailed areas around her face, I'm going to apply my balayage with a classic brush size. And as we move towards the back denser areas, I'm going to use a larger brush. And the reason for that is because with a smaller brush, I'm able to get smaller, more clean radius. The larger brush size, as we'll see later, will give us a really large surface area. For this section, as I mentioned before, we're gonna want her to have dimension when she crosses and flips her hair. We're also gonna want to have a tension here in the money piece and then connect it with a top supporting bit of dimension. So what that means is we're doing a 3D connection point, which means I'm going to have to start with the root area first and work my way through all 3 of those points before bringing any type of tension and letting the section drop down. That's so I can just keep really good, clean control and have it work for me. As you can see, we created those 3 points, and now we're gonna work the lightener and overlap it through some of her old color. Now that we're here, to keep it nice and tidy, you can easily put a little piece of cotton there. I'm going to use a foil. So again, because Autumn flips, I'm just customizing each temple section of her hair because I want it to look super bright and sun-kissed, natural, and I don't want to leave out any deep pockets in the face frame area because I just want to put that extra bit of contrast there. We're gonna go ahead and put another 3D color placement on the adjoining section so it is cohesive with what we did earlier on the other side. Again, I cannot lose my tension in the mid shaft before I get all 3 of my ribbons in place. And these will connect right here in her hairline, which will be so pretty. And as you can see, if she flips over, that looks so pretty and organic. It looks intentional, it looks natural, which is what we're going for. So just like we are very specific with taking 3D pieces for where it's gonna offer the most value, it's the same with the underneath. We want to paint underneath kind of like inside out. So many of you who are painting already tend to take this section and paint on top of it, but you're hiding all of this dimension because as the hair falls over, really all that color is gonna be underneath layers and layers of hair. So to be able to see it, I'm gonna have her work with me and go chin to chest as I lay this color on the underneath. To make this as easy as possible for myself, I'm actually gonna stand on the opposite side so I can pull this towards me and then work and then drop. Now that I'm working on all this beautiful hair that we put away, I'm just going to divide it in 2 big subsections because I feel like we should definitely add some dimension in this back area. Unlike the pieces in the front of the face, where I'm gonna have precise detail, this is a very wide surface space, so I'm going in with an extra jumbo paintbrush and I'm just going to lay a ton of panels in through the back because when the hair floods open and each section basically spreads apart, it's gonna be the most diffused, almost like a baby light effect. And it's so fast and efficient. Showing you this section because as we get closer to the top, I'm swinging my sections more at a diagonal instead of straight across. That's just going to create a softness overall. I love this approach because it keeps it very simple. It could be quite overwhelming to do a full hand painting on such long 25-inch beautiful hair. but it doesn't have to be. You just have to be smart and sensical about what you're doing and why. So that's why we customized and didn't narrow our technique based on sticking to one tool, one pattern. We did heavy placement where she had heavy hair. We did more strategic placement where her hair is going to be the center point of her whole entire look. So just keep it simple and have fun with this technique and customize it for your clients depending on what their starting point is. Here is our finish with Autumn's balayage, and I'm so excited about it. We were just looking at how versatile her hair is when you get into each of the sections and look at how the movement looks as you go into those little flippable moments. We just didn't miss any details here, and just the end result makes us so happy. Here we based her with a 4N and a 5N equal parts and let that process for about 15 minutes. And we used an 8N all over just to deepen her beigey pieces and neutralize any balayage tones that are lingering in there. I felt like I didn't want it to be over ashy or over gold, and this is the beautiful result of just the Demi-permanent N series, and I can say that it does exactly what it says it's supposed to do, which is neutralize, balance, soften, and add some shine. I love how this came out, and I'm so happy that we got to share this technique with you. If you love this tutorial, you need to subscribe to the Kenra Professional YouTube because there's so much more education on here from me and other amazing educators. And if you'd like to follow me on my hair journey, you can find me on Instagram at @low_Wheeler Davis. See you guys.